My role, and not only my role, but also of all the team, is to provide digital services for citizens. And in this project, we use the technology like artificial intelligence, digital twin, and also other technologies like 5G or providing an intelligent urban space to provide better services to the citizens in Madrid, and especially in Mercamadrid in this case.
Those solutions that we then have are really not just business models, but urban business models that work for the city and that are in the end of some use to us, and that they come across this stage of thought, of idea, of prototype, whatever, to an implementation that is upscalable. Means that we can not just do it in a pilot, in a showcase, but that it's possible to use it for several things, and then in the end that it helps our strategy, towards climate neutrality or towards introducing new services in the city.
Mission 100 Cities, which was announced a year and a half ago, means a lot for the Canton Sarajevo, especially because it gives us a chance to tackle many of the issues which we need to deal with in order to improve the climate situation in not only Sarajevo but in country of Bosnia and Herzegovina, because it reflects, it will have immense effect on wider community, not only local community.
Yeah, Espoo is one of the 100 carbon neutral and smart cities, mission cities, and we have a pretty good roadmap for being carbon neutral by 2030. The biggest problem that we have is mobility. That is the one area where our efforts to reduce the carbon load are most challenging, if I could say. And this Mobilities for EU project will probably help us a lot in finding new ways of speeding up our carbon neutrality. 2030 is very close.
Well, the most exciting aspect in the Mobilities for EU is that we are actually able to discuss those logistics things or the logistics issues, not only from the perspective of the technical operations, but also from the perspective of the user experience and from the involvement of the stakeholders. And this is something which makes this project, I think, unique, because in this case, you are not just discussing about, as I said, wholesale trading and all this kind of the stuff, but actually you are talking about what are the needs and expectations of the particular users.
So actually there are three main goals we want to focus on, which is micromobility, especially focusing on schools and the mobility around this area, then electromobility and two-wheel mobility. So these are the things that interest us in the city and that we also want to benefit from this project.
From the point of view of the pilots, the challenge, I think that it would be mainly the combination of technology and regulation. That's also a challenge that we encounter in a lot of research projects. But when we are dealing with autonomous driving, for example, there are still a lot of threads that you need to follow, that a project cannot follow all of them, and we are dealing with regulation, ethics, but also all the parts from social science and humanities, how this would be accepted for the society, etc.
These urban transport labs are innovation spaces that doesn't have to be really physical spaces, but let's say networks that connect to stakeholders that have a say in the solutions that are going to be developed in the different pilots in the different cities, and to allow them to talk and to co-design the solutions that are going to be developed. These innovation spaces gather companies, researchers, universities and citizens.
Steinbeis Europazentrum is responsible for increasing the project's impact. What does that mean? That means that we try to make sure that all the learnings, all the results and all the solutions produced in the project are useful for others. So for instance, solutions that have been proving successful here in Madrid or in Dresden are then replicated in other European cities, or that research that is done on the solution is then continued by other research organizations.
For me, one of the biggest challenges, personally speaking, is going to be to coordinate such a big bunch of experts and companies within the project. We are 28 different companies around Europe, not only companies, but also councils, cities, municipalities, which is not usually easy to deal with. But at the same time, it's quite exciting because I'm going to be able to work with such talented people working for a common goal, which is the sustainability and to reduce emissions through mobility.